Hey, what is up guys, my name is TheXclusiveAce. Today we're comparing the BRUEN against the PKM. In this video you'll see a comparison with stats, best attachments and recoil patterns and more. If this is your first time here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button as I make tips and tricks in Warzone and much more. Both the BRUEN and PKM has been around for a long time in Warzone now, and just to make sure I tested out the bullet velocities, ADS speeds and more. And let's look at the weapon stats here. The BRUEN has an ADS speed of 446 milliseconds and the PKM comes in at 413 milliseconds. Movement speed of the BRUEN is 4.47 meters per second and the PKM clocks in at 4.37 meters per second. So when looking at the reload speed, the BRUEN reloads in 5.27 seconds and the PKM reloads in 8.85 seconds. That is actually so slow that you have to plan out your reloads as it feels like an eternity. The rate of fire for the BRUEN is 752 rounds per minute and the PKM comes in at 750 rounds per minute. So as we can see so far, the BRUEN has a slight advantage, but let's take a look at the damage profile. Both the BRUEN and PKM does 46 damage to the head, which means it's going to take 6 shots to down a fully plated enemy. Note that this is the damage for the first base damage fall off, and the PKM offers up a little more range before dropping off. For the chest, the BRUEN does 31 damage, which means it's going to take 9 shots to down a fully plated enemy. The PKM does 34 damage to the chest, which means it's going to take 8 shots to down a fully plated enemy. Note that this is for the first base damage drop off as well. When we're looking at the base damage fall off, we can see that the BRUEN falls off at 26 meters and the PKM falls off at 39 meters. With attachments, we're looking at the BRUEN fall off at 35.7 meters and the PKM at 51.2 meters. Let's take a look at the TTK for these weapons. The BRUEN has a TTK to the head at 466 milliseconds and the PKM has a TTK to the head at 467. For the chest, the BRUEN has a TTK of 705 and the PKM has a TTK of 627 milliseconds. These are all times to down a fully plated enemy. So let's check out the recoil pattern. We have the PKM to the right and the BRUEN to the left. As you can see, the PKM has a pretty easy recoil pattern to control. We are almost only dealing with vertical recoil, so all you need to do in order to control this is dragging down while shooting. The BRUEN has also a pretty easy recoil pattern, but as you can see, it goes off to the left after a few bullets. Even still, you would be safe just dragging down while shooting with the BRUEN. Let's look at the attachments and I'm going to show you what the differences are after the weapons are fully kitted out. For the BRUEN, we take the monolithic suppressor, summit barrel, VLK 3X optic, commando foregrip, and the BRUEN has an option to take a 60 round mag, and I went through and tested what this would do to the reload speed, and as you can see, we're coming in at 2.2 seconds compared to the stock reload speed at 5.27 seconds. This is a huge advantage the BRUEN has over the PKM. For the PKM, we take the monolithic suppressor, extended barrel, VLK 3X optic, tack laser and snatch grip. The snatch grip is actually one of the only underbarrel attachments we have in the game that actually helps with ADS speed. I did a quick test with the snatch grip off and then on, and the difference is 62 milliseconds. Neither of these guns have great ADS speed, but that attachment on the PKM really helps out there. So let's see what weapon changes this actually gives us compared to a stock weapon. For the range, the BRUEN gains 38% range and the PKM gains 31%. The ADS speed will always increase as we increase the bullet velocity and range, so here the BRUEN goes up to 545 milliseconds and the PKM only goes up to 419 milliseconds. And that is all down to the snatch grip and tack laser. Just these two attachments helps us out with 117 milliseconds ADS speed. For the movement speed, the BRUEN goes up to 4.43 meters per second and the PKM goes up to 4.22 meters per second. For the bullet velocity, the BRUEN ends up at 1100 meters per second and the PKM ends up at 1026 meters per second. Let's jump into my final thoughts on these weapons. Both these LMGs are great for what they are, but they feel very heavy and I just can't get past the reload speed of the PKM. It takes 8.8 seconds to reload, and to me that feels like an eternity. Since we can take the 60 round mag on the BRUEN and then we are only down to a reload speed of 2.2 seconds, I feel like this gives the BRUEN a huge advantage over the PKM. They have basically the same head TTK, but the PKM has a noticeable quicker TTK to the chest. I think the BRUEN will always have that small advantage over the PKM as long as we can use the 60 round mag. It makes the gun more versatile and in a pinch you can actually get off that reload without dying. Nonetheless, these weapons are for long range, up close they are just not cutting it. Based on using them both, I would take the BRUEN based on that you can have the 60 round mag. I really feel it makes the weapon more versatile, and with my playstyle it just fits me better. Let me know in the comments what you prefer. That is it for this video guys, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't, and as always I will see you legends in the next one.